The crystal chandelier cast fractured light across the marble table. Olivia sat alone, watching steam curl from untouched honey-glazed salmon. 2 hours of cooking. 0 minutes of appreciation. 9:30 p.m. The clock mocked her with each tick. She typed another message. Dinner is ready whenever you get home. I made your favorite. The read receipt never came. 3 years ago, James Bennett had been different. Spontaneous coast trips. Love notes hidden in her purse. Lunch calls just to hear her voice. Then the funding round started. The acquisitions. The transformation. Now he was a stranger who grunted responses while typing emails. Olivia scraped food into containers, remembering Sunday mornings when they danced in the kitchen. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the glittering city, but the silence inside was suffocating. In the bedroom mirror, she barely recognized herself. Tired eyes, dim spirit. She had quit her interior design career after the wedding, thinking it would give them more time together. What a mistake. Her phone buzzed. Hope flickered, then died. Just Rachel. Coffee tomorrow? You've been MIA for weeks. Olivia stared at the message. She had been hiding, ashamed of her perfect prison. Yes, please. 10 a.m. at the usual place. The next morning, Rachel hugged her tight at the coffee shop. Exposed brick walls. Rich coffee aroma. Familiar comfort. Talk to me. What's going on with you and James? Olivia wrapped her hands around the warm cappuccino. He's never home, Rachel. Never. We haven't had a real conversation in months. Have you told him how you feel? He says he's building our future. But what's the point of a future if we don't have a present? Rachel's eyes flashed. You deserve better than this, Liv. Don't let him make you forget that. There's an art exhibition at the Cole Gallery. Come with me. The converted warehouse gallery was all white walls and dramatic lighting. Vibrant paintings lined the space. Something stirred inside Olivia. A spark she thought was dead. Beautiful, isn't it? She turned. A man in his early 30s stood beside her. Kind eyes. Easy smile. Navy blazer. It's breathtaking, Olivia said. The use of light is remarkable. You have a good eye. Are you an artist? Interior designer. Or I was before I stopped working. Adrian Cole. He extended his hand. I own this gallery. Olivia Bennett. They talked for an hour. Art, design, creative process. Adrian listened, really listened, asking thoughtful questions. When had anyone last cared about her opinions? Here's my card, Adrian said as they left. If you ever want to talk more about design or art, call me. I'm always looking for creative perspectives. That night, James came home at 11:40. Olivia was reading when he walked in, loosening his tie without looking at her. How was your day? She asked. Exhausting. 3 back-to-back investor meetings. He changed into pajamas, eyes on his phone. I went to an art gallery today. It was inspiring. That's nice. He climbed into bed, scrolling through emails. Olivia watched a stranger who shared her bed but not her life. She turned off her lamp and faced away, feeling emptiness settle over her like a heavy blanket. The next week, on impulse, she texted Adrian. Hi, Adrian. This is Olivia from the exhibition. I'd love to hear more about your upcoming shows. His response came within minutes. Olivia, great to hear from you. Are you free for coffee this week? I have some projects I'd love to get your design input on. She stared at the message, her heart beating faster than it should. Then she typed, I'd love to. The cafe near the gallery smelled like cinnamon and possibility. Adrian spread sketches across their table, his eyes bright with enthusiasm. I need someone who understands spatial flow, he said. These exhibition rooms need to tell a story. Olivia leaned forward, her creative mind awakening after years of sleep. The lighting here is wrong. You want people to discover each piece, not have everything revealed at once. Adrian smiled. Exactly. See? I knew you'd get it. For 2 hours, they discussed sight lines, emotional journeys, the architecture of experience. Someone valued her expertise again. Someone saw her. Coffee became weekly, then twice a week. Adrian texted her about new arrivals, design articles, his thoughts on a sculpture he thought she'd love. He remembered everything she said, asked follow-up questions, made her feel alive. 6 weeks after they met, Olivia stood in her kitchen at midnight, staring at her phone. Another message from Adrian. Another smile she couldn't suppress. The front door opened. James walked in, tie already loosened, eyes on his phone. "You're home early," Olivia said. It was only 11:45. Canceled dinner meeting. He poured himself whiskey. "Who's Adrian?" Her blood went cold. "What?" "Your phone was on the counter this morning. A message popped up. Can't wait to see you tomorrow." James's voice was flat. "So who is he?" "He owns the art gallery I told you about. He's been consulting me on design projects." "Consulting?" James finally looked at her. Really looked. "How often do you see him?" "Once or twice a week." "James, you're never here. I needed something. Anything." "So you found someone else?" "It's not like that." But her voice wavered. "Wasn't it?" James set down his glass with controlled precision. "I've been building our future. Olivia, working 18-hour days so you can live in this house, so we can have security, so—" "I never asked for any of this." The words exploded from her. "I asked for you. Sunday mornings. Conversations over dinner. A husband who remembers I exist. I'm providing for us. You're hiding from us." Silence stretched between them like a chasm. James's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and something shifted in his expression. Something that looked like guilt. "I have to take this." He walked to his study and closed the door. Olivia stood in the kitchen, shaking, through the study door. She heard James's voice, softer than it had been with her in months. "No, I can't tonight. She's here. Tomorrow. I promise." She's here. As if Olivia was an obstacle, an inconvenience. Her phone lit up. "Adrian, there's a private viewing tomorrow night. New collection. Would you like to come?" She typed back before she could stop herself. Yes, the private viewing was intimate. 20 people. Champagne. Soft music. Adrian guided her through the space, his hand occasionally brushing her lower back. "This piece," he said, stopping before a painting of two figures reaching across darkness, "made me think of you." "Why?" "Because you're reaching for something. I can see it in your eyes every time we talk. You're trying to find your way back to who you were." Olivia's breath caught. "And who was that?" "Someone brilliant, creative, alive." Adrian turned to face her fully. "Someone who deserves to be seen." The space between them felt electric, dangerous. "Adrian," she whispered, "I'm married." "I know." His voice was gentle. "But are you happy?" Before she could answer, her phone rang. "James." She almost didn't answer. "Hello. Where are you?" His voice was sharp. "At a gallery event. I told you about it this morning." "I don't remember you telling me anything." "You weren't listening." She walked toward the exit, aware of Adrian's eyes following her. "You never listen." "Olivia, I need to tell you something." James's voice changed, became uncertain. "Can you come home?" "Now." "Please." She found him in the living room, still wearing his suit, but something was different. His shoulders were hunched. His hands were shaking. "What's wrong?" Olivia asked. James looked up, and she saw fear in his eyes. "The company is failing. We're about to lose everything. The house, the cars, all of it. I've been taking meetings with bankruptcy lawyers for 3 months. The room tilted. "What?" "I didn't want you to worry. I thought I could fix it. I thought if I just worked harder, found more investors." His voice cracked. "But it's over. We have maybe 6 weeks before it all collapses." Olivia sank onto the couch. 3 months. You've been dealing with this alone for 3 months. "I'm sorry." James's face crumpled. "I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting you." She looked at this man, really looked, saw the exhaustion, the terror, the loneliness that matched her own. "James." Her voice was soft. "I would have stood by you through all of it. Would you?" He met her eyes. Because I don't think I've given you any reason to. Her phone buzzed. Adrian, hope you're home safely. Thinking about you. James saw the message. Saw the name. Is he the reason you're still here? James asked, or are you just waiting for the right moment to leave? Olivia opened her mouth to answer, but her phone rang again. Unknown number. Mrs. Bennett? An unfamiliar voice. This is Dr. Chun from Memorial Hospital. Your husband listed you as his emergency contact. There's been an accident. My husband is right here, Olivia said. I'm calling about Adrian Cole. He was in a car accident 20 minutes ago. He's in surgery now. He kept asking for Olivia. We found your number in his recent calls. The phone slipped from her hand. James stared at her, and in his eyes, she saw the exact moment he understood. The hospital fluorescent lights were merciless. Olivia stood frozen in the waiting room, James 3 steps behind her. Mrs. Bennett? A surgeon in blue scrubs approached. Mr. Cole is stable. The surgery went well. He has a concussion, broken ribs, and internal bruising, but he'll recover. Relief flooded through her, so powerful it hurt. Can I see him? The words escaped before she thought. The surgeon nodded. Room 347. But he's sedated. He might not be fully conscious. Olivia started toward the elevators. James caught her arm. Don't. His voice was raw. Please don't go up there. He was asking for me. And that doesn't tell you something? James's grip tightened. Olivia, look at me. Really look at me. We're losing everything. Our home, our life, everything I built. And the first thing you want to do is run to him. She pulled away. You've been running for 3 years, James. Into work, into excuses, into lies about protecting me. I was trying to give you a life. I never wanted a life. I wanted a partner. She walked to the elevator, pressed a button, felt James watching her back. On the 3rd floor, she found room 347. Adrian lay in the hospital bed, bruises blooming across his face, machines beeping steadily. His eyes fluttered open when she entered. Olivia. His voice was rough. You came. Of course I came. She took the chair beside his bed. What happened? Drunk driver. Ran a red light. He tried to smile. Guess fate wanted to slow me down. Don't joke. You could have died. Would you have cared? His eyes searched hers. Really cared? The question hung between them. Honest. Brutal. Yes, she whispered. God help me, yes. Adrian reached for her hand. She let him take it. I know you're married, he said. I know this is complicated. But Olivia, I haven't felt this alive in years. Not since my wife died. She froze. Your wife? 3 years ago. Cancer. I built the gallery afterward because I needed something beautiful in a world that felt broken. His thumb traced circles on her palm. Then I met you, and for the first time since losing her, I felt like maybe I could heal. Tears burned Olivia's eyes. Adrian, I can't be your healing. I'm not asking you to be. I'm just asking you to be honest. Do you feel it too? The door opened. James stood in the doorway. Get away from my wife. His voice was ice. Adrian didn't let go of Olivia's hand. Does she want me to? James. Olivia started. No. James stepped into the room. No more excuses. No more justifications. You're either my wife or you're not. Olivia. Choose. You can't make me choose right now. He's hurt. He's holding your hand. James's composure shattered. Do you think I'm blind? Do you think I don't see what's happening? You haven't seen anything for 3 years. She stood, dropping Adrian's hand. You want to talk about choices? You chose your company over our marriage every single day. You chose silence over honesty. You chose to lie to me about bankruptcy for 3 months. I was trying to protect you. You were trying to protect yourself from having to face me, from having to admit you failed. The words landed like physical blows. James flinched. That's what you think of me? His voice broke. That I'm a failure? Olivia's anger drained away, leaving only exhaustion. I think you're terrified. I think you've been terrified for so long that you forgot how to let anyone in, even me. Maybe because every time I tried to share my fears, you looked at me like I was disappointing you. That's not fair, isn't it? James's eyes were wet. You fell in love with a version of me who had all the answers, who took you on spontaneous trips and surprised you with grand gestures. But that wasn't real life. Olivia, that was the beginning. Real life is hard and messy, and I'm sorry I couldn't figure out how to show you the struggling version of myself. From the bed, Adrian cleared his throat. I should give you privacy. No, Olivia said. You should tell me the truth. All of it. Adrian's expression shifted, became guarded. What do you mean? The accident. The drunk driver. She stepped closer. Did it really happen that way? Silence. Adrian, tell me. He closed his eyes. There was no drunk driver. James inhaled sharply. I was upset, Adrian continued. After you left the gallery to go home to him, I was driving too fast, not paying attention. I saw your text saying you made it home safely, and I looked at it too long, ran off the road. He opened his eyes, and they were full of pain. I crashed because I was thinking about you instead of watching where I was going. Olivia stepped back. You lied to me. I didn't want you to feel guilty. Well, I do. I feel incredibly guilty. Her voice rose. Because you're right. This is my fault. All of it. I started something I had no right to start. Olivia, no, Adrian said, but she was already moving toward the door. James caught up with her in the hallway. Let me drive you home, he said quietly. I have my car. You're shaking. Let me drive you. Please. They rode in silence. James's hands were steady on the wheel, but she could see the tension in his jaw. When they pulled into the driveway of the house, they were about to lose. Neither moved to get out. I found something today, James said, in my desk, a letter I wrote you on our wedding day. I was supposed to give it to you on our first anniversary, but I forgot. He pulled an envelope from his jacket. Maybe you should read it now. Olivia opened it with trembling hands. James's handwriting covered the page. My dearest Olivia, if you're reading this, we've made it through our first year of marriage. I hope I've shown you every single day how much I love you. I hope I've never let work become more important than us. I hope I've listened to your dreams and supported your passions. If I've failed at any of this, I'm sorry. You are my compass. Don't ever let me forget that. The letter was dated 3 years ago. A promise from a man who no longer existed. Or did he? I broke every promise in that letter, James whispered. And I don't know if I can fix it. Olivia folded the letter carefully. James, there's something I need to tell you. About Adrian? About me? She turned to face him. I was falling in love with him. Maybe I already had. And I need you to know that before we decide anything else. James's face went pale, but he nodded. Okay, at least you're being honest. There's more. She took a breath. 3 months ago, before I met Adrian, I went to a lawyer. I asked about divorce. What? I couldn't do it. I kept thinking maybe things would change. Maybe you'd come back to me. But James, I was ready to leave you. Adrian didn't create this problem. He just showed me what I'd been missing. James stared straight ahead. When he finally spoke, his voice was barely audible. Did you sign anything? No. Good. He opened his car door. Because there's something else you need to know. Something I should have told you months ago. He led her into the house, into his study, pulled a folder from his desk drawer. The company isn't just failing. It failed 6 weeks ago. I signed dissolution papers. Olivia's head spun. Then what have you been doing all this time? Working for someone else. My competitor bought my company's assets and offered me a position, a normal position. 9 to 5, reasonable salary, no ownership stress. He looked at her. I said yes, but I couldn't tell you because I was ashamed. I built this empire, gave you this life, and then I lost it all. I thought you'd leave me if you knew I was just an employee now. Just an employee. Olivia laughed, but there was no humor in it. James, I never cared about the empire. I just wanted you. I know that now. But 6 months ago, a woman came to my office. He pulled out another piece of paper. She said she was Adrian Cole's sister. Olivia's blood turned to ice. She told me Adrian was targeting you deliberately, that he has a pattern. He befriends married women, particularly wives of wealthy men, gets close to them, makes them fall for him. Then, when the relationship gets discovered, he provides support through the divorce, becomes the hero. James's hands were shaking. The women leave their husbands, give Adrian access to their divorce settlements. Then he moves on to the next one. That's insane. Is it? Think about it, Olivia. He approached you. He had his card ready. He asked about your personal life within an hour of meeting you. He's a gallery owner. That's called networking. His last 3 girlfriends were all recently divorced from wealthy men. One of them lost everything to him. That's why his sister came to warn me. Olivia's mind raced. If you knew this 6 months ago, why didn't you tell me? Because I thought if I just worked harder, was home more, you'd never need him. But I was wrong. I pushed you right into his arms. She stood, moving toward the door. I need to think. Olivia, wait. I haven't told you the worst part. She turned. James's face was anguished. The accident tonight. It wasn't an accident. Adrian's sister called me an hour before it happened. She said he was planning something dramatic to make you feel guilty, to bind you to him emotionally. She's been tracking him since their parents died, and he stole her inheritance. You're lying. I wish I was. He showed her his phone, pulled up a text thread with an unknown number. Messages from someone named Adrian Cole, warning James about her brother's manipulations. The room tilted. I need to go, Olivia said. Where? To get the truth. She drove back to the hospital, her mind a storm, burst into Adrian's room without knocking. He looked up, startled. Olivia? I thought you left. Do you have a sister named Elena? His expression changed, became cold, calculating. So he told you. Adrian sat up straighter, wincing. Smart move on his part. Is it true? Any of it? Depends on what he said. Adrian's easy smile was gone. But yes, Elena is my sister. And yes, she hates me. And yes, I've dated women going through divorces. Is that a crime? You targeted me. I met you at a gallery. You came there voluntarily. Answer the question. Adrian's mask slipped. Behind it was something harder, colder. You want the truth? Fine. I saw you coming from a mile away. Olivia, neglected wife, creative type, married to a workaholic who was about to lose everything. You were perfect. The words hit like fists. But here's what your husband didn't tell you, Adrian continued. I fell for you anyway. That wasn't part of the plan. You were supposed to be easy, simple, but you're not. You're complicated and brilliant, and damn it, I actually care about you. The accident, was it staged? No, that was real. I really crashed because I was thinking about you. He laughed bitterly. Ironic, right? The con man gets caught in his own trap. Olivia backed toward the door. Stay away from me. Olivia, wait. Let me explain. Explain what? That you manipulated me? That everything we talked about was a lie? Not everything. His voice broke. Not the way I feel about you. That's real. I don't believe you. She ran. Out of the room. Down the stairs. Into the parking lot. Sat in her car and screamed. When she finally drove home, James was waiting on the front steps. The house was dark behind him. I'm sorry, he said as she approached. I should have told you sooner. I should have protected you better. You're not my protector, James. You're supposed to be my partner. She sat beside him on the cold concrete. We've both been lying, both hiding, both too scared to face what we become. What do we do now? Olivia looked at the house. This beautiful prison they'd built together. We sell it, she said. Take whatever we can get. Start over. Together? She turned to him, saw the fear in his eyes, the hope. I don't know yet, she said honestly, but I know I can't keep living like this. I need to figure out who I am without you, without Adrian, without any of it. James nodded slowly. Okay, I understand. Do you? Because I need you to really hear this. I'm not running away. I'm running toward something, toward myself. I hear you. They sat in silence as the night deepened around them. Then Olivia's phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Olivia, this is Elena Cole, Adrian's sister. We need to talk. What I told your husband was only part of the truth. The real story is much worse. Elena Cole sat across from Olivia in a 24-hour diner that smelled like burned coffee and regret. She was older than Adrian, maybe early 40s, with the same kind eyes, but none of the warmth. Thank you for meeting me, Elena said. I know this is overwhelming. James sat beside Olivia, his presence solid but silent. She'd insisted he come. No more secrets. Tell me everything, Olivia said. Elena pulled out a folder. Photographs, documents, bank statements. Adrian is my half-brother. Different mothers. Our father was a wealthy art collector who died 5 years ago. She pushed a photo across the table. A younger Adrian with an elegant woman. This is his wife, Marie. She really did die of cancer 3 years ago. But what Adrian doesn't tell people is that he drained her medical fund, spent it on opening the gallery. She died in a state facility because he chose his dream over her treatment. Olivia's stomach turned. After Marie died, Adrian changed, became calculated. He started targeting women like you, wealthy, vulnerable, neglected. He'd sweep them off their feet, convince them to leave their husbands, then help them through their divorces. Elena's voice hardened. Then he'd convince them to invest in his gallery. Thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. Once he had their money, he'd move on. How many? James asked. 7 that I know of. Olivia would have been number 8. Olivia felt sick. Why didn't you stop him sooner? I tried. I warned the last woman, but she didn't believe me. Said I was jealous of my brother's success. Elena's eyes were haunted. She invested $200,000. He disappeared. She lost her house trying to recoup the money. Where is she now? Dead. Suicide 6 months ago. The word hung in the air like a curse. I've been following Adrian ever since, Elena continued. When I saw him with you, Olivia, I knew I had to intervene. But I was afraid. Afraid he'd hurt you the way he hurt her. So I warned your husband instead, hoping he'd protect you. James's jaw clenched. Why not go to the police? I did. They said it's not illegal to date recently divorced women. He's never stolen money directly. They always give it willingly. He's smart. Always stays just on the legal side of fraud. Olivia looked at the photograph spread across the table. 7 women. 7 lives destroyed. But that's not why I asked to meet you tonight, Elena said. Her hands trembled as she pulled out one more document. I need to tell you something about your husband. James went rigid. What? 6 months ago, Adrian came to me with a proposition. He said he'd been watching you, Olivia, and he knew your husband's company was failing. He offered me $50,000 to help him destroy your marriage faster. I refused, but he found someone else. Elena looked at James. He hired a private investigator to dig into your finances, to find out exactly how bad things were. Then he used that information to time his approach to Olivia perfectly. Olivia turned to James. Did you know about this? No, but James's face had gone white. But I should have. There were signs. Someone accessed my personal accounts. I thought it was just the bankruptcy lawyers doing due diligence. There's more. Elena pushed a bank statement toward them. 3 weeks ago, someone made a $100,000 deposit into Adrian's account from an offshore company. James picked up the paper. His hand started shaking. That's your competitor's shell company, Elena said. The one who bought your assets. What? Olivia grabbed the statement. Why would they pay Adrian? Because they wanted your company cheap. If James was distracted, desperate, broken by a failing marriage, he'd sell faster. For less. Elena's voice was soft. Adrian wasn't just targeting you, Olivia. He was working with them. They paid him to seduce you, to break James, to make the acquisition easier. James stood abruptly. His chair clattered to the floor. That son of a bitch. James. Olivia reached for him. They used you to get to me. They paid someone to seduce my wife, so I'd be too destroyed to negotiate. His voice was shaking. Everything I lost. Everything we lost. It was orchestrated. Elena nodded. I have proof. Emails. Wire transfers. Enough to destroy Adrian and to reopen your company's sale. If you fight it, you could get a settlement. Maybe even get your company back. Olivia felt reality shifting beneath her feet. The accident. Was that part of it too? I don't know. I think that really was Adrian losing control. He wasn't supposed to fall for you, Olivia, but I think he did, which makes him even more dangerous. James turned to Olivia. His eyes were wild. We could destroy him. We could take everything. His gallery, his reputation, everything he built on the backs of broken women. Or, Elena said quietly, we could walk away, take the settlement money, and disappear. Start over somewhere he can't reach you. No. Olivia stood. I want to talk to him first. Olivia, that's not safe. James said, I don't care. He lied to me. He manipulated me. He made me feel alive again, and it was all fake. Her voice broke. I need to look him in the eyes and ask him why. Let me come with you, James said. No, this is something I need to do alone. An hour later, Olivia stood in Adrian's hospital room. He looked up, surprised. You came back. Don't. She held up a hand. I know everything. Your sister told me. The 7 women. The money. The deal with James's competitor. Adrian's face went carefully blank. Elena always did have a flair for drama. Is it true? Silence. Answer me. Her voice cracked. Was any of it real? Define real. Adrian sat up slowly. Did I approach you deliberately? Yes. Did I know about James's company? Yes. Did I have a financial incentive? Yes. But Olivia, somewhere along the way, it stopped being about the money. I don't believe you. I don't expect you to. He looked away. But for what it's worth, I've never felt more like myself than when I was with you, even if that self was built on lies. You destroyed 7 women. I helped 7 women leave toxic marriages. That they chose to invest in my gallery afterward was their decision. One of them killed herself. Adrian flinched. Finally, a crack in the armor. I know. I think about Sarah every day. Do you? Because you sure move on quickly to victim number 8. You're not a victim, Olivia. You're the only one who saw through me. Maybe that's why I actually fell for you. She stepped closer to his bed. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give Elena the evidence she needs to destroy you. Your gallery, your reputation, everything. Then I'm going to go home to my husband, and we're going to figure out how to rebuild what you tried to break. He doesn't deserve you. Maybe not, but you definitely don't. She turned to leave. Olivia, wait. Adrian's voice stopped her. There's something else you should know. About James. I don't want to hear any more of your lies. It's not a lie. It's a question. Adrian met her eyes. Ask him who really made the first call to my gallery. Who really set up our introduction. What are you talking about? Rachel, your friend. She called me 3 months before you visited. Said she had a friend who needed to rediscover herself. Gave me your entire history. Your marriage troubles. Your design background. Everything I needed. Olivia's blood ran cold. No. Check her phone records. Check her emails. Then ask yourself why your best friend would set you up to meet a stranger who specializes in seducing married women. You're lying. Am I? Or has everyone in your life been playing a game you didn't know you were in? Olivia ran from the room. Called Rachel on the way to her car. Hey, Liv. How's everything? Did you call Adrian Cole before you took me to that gallery? Silence on the other end. Rachel. Answer me. Who told you that? Rachel's voice was tight. It's true. Oh my God, it's true. Why would you do that? Because you were dying inside that marriage, Liv. I could see it. You needed someone to remind you that you were special, that you mattered. I thought Adrian could do that. You knew what he was? What he does to women. No, I swear I didn't know about that. I just knew he was charming and interested in design. I thought you needed a friend, a mentor. Rachel's voice cracked. I never meant for it to go that far. You set me up. You orchestrated the whole thing. I was trying to help you. Help me? Olivia's voice rose to a scream. You almost destroyed my marriage. You put me in the path of a predator. All because you thought you knew what was best for me. Liv, please. I'm sorry. I just wanted you to be happy. You wanted to play God with my life. She hung up, sat in her car, felt the weight of every betrayal crushing down on her chest. Everyone had lied. Everyone had manipulated. Adrian, Rachel, even James, in his own way, by hiding his failures. Who could she trust? Her phone rang. James. Olivia, where are you? In the hospital parking lot. Trying to figure out if anything in my life is real. Come home. Please. We need to talk. About what? More lies. About the truth. All of it. I'm done hiding, Liv. I want to tell you everything. She drove home in a daze. Found James in the living room with packed boxes. What are you doing? She asked. Packing up our life. Like you said, we're selling the house. Starting over. He gestured to boxes. But before we do, I need to show you something. He led her to his study. Opened his laptop. Pulled up emails. 6 months ago, Rachel contacted me. Said she was worried about you. That you seemed depressed. Hopeless. She suggested you needed something to wake you up creatively. Olivia read the emails. Her hand shaking. I told her about the gallery. About Adrian Cole. Because I've been looking into him as a potential investor for my company before it collapsed. James scrolled to another email. Rachel took that information and ran with it, set up the introduction. But she didn't know what Adrian really was. Neither did I. Not then. When did you find out? 2 months ago. After you'd already started seeing him for coffee. I hired my own investigator. Found out about his pattern. About the women. About everything. James turned to face her. And I didn't tell you because I was terrified. Terrified you'd leave me anyway. Terrified that maybe you wanted him more than you wanted me. So everyone just decided to manipulate me for my own good? No. We all screwed up. Me most of all. But Liv, here's the thing. I've spent 6 months watching you come alive again. Watching you smile and laugh and talk about art and design with a passion I hadn't seen in years. And yeah, it killed me that Adrian was the one bringing that out. But it also showed me what I'd taken from you. Tears streamed down Olivia's face. I don't know who I am anymore. You're the woman who quit her dream job because she believed in us. Who cooked dinner every night hoping I'd come home. Who stayed even when I gave her every reason to leave. James knelt in front of her. You're the strongest person I know. And I don't deserve you. But I'm asking anyway. Can we start over? Really start over? No lies. No games. Just us figuring out who we are together? Olivia looked at this man. This stranger. This partner she'd somehow lost along the way. I need time, she whispered. I need to figure out who I am without you, without Adrian, without anyone else defining me. Okay. James stood. Then take it. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. What if I decide I want out? Then I'll let you go. His voice broke. But I'll spend every day until then showing you why you should stay. Olivia nodded, turned to leave. Liv. James called out. One more thing. The house. The sale. I'm giving you everything. The settlement from Adrian's fraud case. The money from the house. All of it. Start your design firm again. Build the life you want. James, no. That's not fair to you. Fair. He laughed bitterly. I destroyed 3 years of your life because I was too proud to admit I was drowning. This is the least I can do. She looked at him. Really looked. Saw the man he'd been. The man he might become again. Don't give me the money, she said. Invest it with me. Be my business partner. Let's build something together. Something real this time. James's eyes widened. You'd trust me with that? I'm choosing to. One last time. She held out her hand. So don't make me regret it. He took her hand, held it like a lifeline. I won't, he promised. I swear to you I won't. 3 months later, Olivia stood in her new design studio. Small, affordable, perfect. Her first client consultation was in an hour. James knocked on the door, holding coffee. Thought you might need this. She smiled, took the cup. Thank you. How are you feeling? Terrified, excited, alive. Good. He kissed her forehead. I'll let you prep. But Liv, I'm proud of you. After he left, Olivia looked at her reflection in the studio window. The light was back in her eyes. The spark had returned. Her phone buzzed. Adrian Cole. Adrian's gallery closed last week. He's facing fraud charges from 4 of his victims. He won't bother you again. Olivia deleted the message. Deleted Adrian's number. Deleted Rachel's number too. Some betrayals couldn't be forgiven. Some friendships couldn't be salvaged. But some marriages could be rebuilt. One honest conversation. One shared dream. One day at a time. Her first client walked in. A young woman with nervous eyes and a portfolio of sketches. Hi, Olivia said, extending her hand. Tell me about your vision. As the woman talked, Olivia listened, really listened, the way she wished everyone had listened to her. And for the first time in 3 years, she felt like herself again. But that night, when she came home to the small apartment she and James now shared, she found him sitting on the couch. His face was pale. What's wrong? She asked. He held up his phone, showed her an email from Adrian. Subject line, the real truth. Don't open it, Olivia said. I already did. James's voice was hollow. You need to read this. She took the phone, read the email, felt the world tilt once more. Olivia, by the time you read this, you'll think you know the whole story. But you don't. Ask James about the insurance policy. Ask him who would benefit if you had left him. Ask him if the bankruptcy was real or just a way to hide assets before a profitable divorce. Elena isn't my sister. She's my ex-partner in this business. We've been running cons together for years. But this one was different. Because your husband paid us $300,000 to make you fall in love with me, to give him grounds for divorce, to make you the guilty party. He's been playing you from the beginning. The neglect, the distance, all calculated to push you into my arms. Wake up, Olivia. You've been the mark all along. Olivia looked up at James. Tell me this is a lie. His silence was the loudest answer she'd ever heard. The apartment was silent, except for the sound of Olivia's breathing. Shallow, rapid. The phone trembled in her hand. Say something, she whispered. Tell me he's lying. James stood slowly, walked to the window. His reflection in the glass looked like a ghost. There was an insurance policy, he said finally. $2 million. Life insurance. Olivia's legs gave out. She sank onto the couch. But not the way Adrian said. James turned to face her. I took it out 3 years ago when the company started growing. Standard practice. You were the beneficiary. I canceled it 6 months ago when I knew the company was failing. Couldn't afford the premiums. He pulled out his phone, showed her the cancellation notice. Dated 7 months prior. There's no policy now. Nothing to gain from you leaving or dying. What about the $300,000? Liv, I don't have $300,000. I never did. Even before the bankruptcy, our accounts were tied up in the business. You can check. Every transaction. Every statement. I'll give you access to everything. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe him. How do I know you're not lying? Everyone else has. You don't. James crossed the room, knelt before her. You have to choose to trust me. The same way I'm choosing to trust that you won't destroy me with what you know. What I know, that I'm broken, damaged, that I failed at everything I touched, that I almost lost you to a con man because I was too proud to admit I needed help. His voice cracked. You could use any of that to hurt me, but you haven't, because that's not who you are. Olivia looked at him. This man she'd married, this stranger, this partner. Call Adrian, she said. Right now. Put him on speaker. James dialed. It rang 3 times. James. Adrian's voice was smooth. I wonder when you'd call. You sent Olivia an email claiming I paid you to seduce her. Prove it. Why would I need to prove anything? She believes it. I can hear it in her silence. Then show us the wire transfer. The contract. Anything. Silence on the other end. Then Adrian laughed. You're smarter than I gave you credit for. There was no $300,000, was there? Olivia said, No, but there could have been. James considered it. 3 months ago, he contacted me, asked if I could help him stage a reason for divorce that would make you the guilty party. James went white. That's a lie. Is it? Check your burner phone. The one you bought at the convenience store on 5th Avenue. The one you used to text me. Olivia's stomach dropped. James, tell me you don't have a burner phone. I don't. I swear to you, I don't. Then you won't mind if we check the records for that phone number. Adrian read off a number. That's the one you used. 6 calls over 2 months. All to my personal line. Liv, I've never heard that number before in my life. James grabbed his own phone. Call it. Right now. Call it and see who answers. Olivia dialed with shaking hands. It rang and rang. Then a voice answered. Hello? Female. Familiar. Who is this? Olivia demanded. It's Elena. The world stopped spinning. Elena, Olivia said slowly, you're answering the burner phone that James supposedly used to contact Adrian. Because I've had it the whole time. Adrian and I planted it at your house 3 months ago. In James's gym bag. We knew you'd eventually look. Elena's voice was tired. I'm sorry, Olivia. I'm so sorry. Adrian convinced me this was justice. That we were punishing men who neglected their wives. But we were just destroying families. Why are you telling me this now? Because I watched my brother ruin 7 women's lives, and I helped him do it. I thought I was saving you by warning James. But I was just giving Adrian more ammunition. Elena's voice broke. I can't do this anymore. I have proof. Real proof. Bank records showing Adrian and I split profits from the women he conned. Evidence that we targeted you together. I'm turning it over to the police tomorrow. Elena, don't. Adrian's voice cut in. He'd been listening the whole time. We're partners. We're family. We're monsters. Elena hung up. The call ended. Olivia and James stared at each other in the ringing silence. So none of it was real, Olivia whispered. Not Adrian's feelings. Not the attraction. Not even his sister's warnings. All of it was designed to break us. But they didn't. James took her hand. We're still here. Are we? Because I don't know what's real anymore, James. I don't know if you really neglected me, or if I just convinced myself you did because someone suggested I was unhappy. I don't know if I really fell for Adrian, or if that was just manipulation. I don't even know if our marriage was broken, or if we let other people tell us it was. I know one thing that's real. James pulled out the letter from their wedding day, the one he'd given her weeks ago. The man who wrote this letter loved you with everything he had, and I think somewhere inside me he still exists. What if he doesn't? What if we can't get back to that? Then we don't. James stood, pulling her up with him. We don't go back, Liv. We go forward. We become new people who know what it's like to almost lose everything, who understand that neglect can kill a marriage as surely as betrayal, who fight for each other instead of against each other. Olivia's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Mrs. Bennett? This is Detective Morrison. We've arrested Adrian Cole and Elena Santos on fraud charges. We'll need you to come in and give a statement. I'll be there tomorrow. After she hung up, James asked, What do you want to do tonight? Olivia looked around their small apartment. No chandelier, no marble, no floor-to-ceiling windows, just second-hand furniture and exposed pipes and a life they were building from scratch. I want to cook dinner, she said. Together, like we used to. They moved into the tiny kitchen. James chopped vegetables while Olivia prepared salmon, not honey glaze this time. Just simple, honest, real. Do you hate me? James asked as they worked. For everything I put you through? I hate that we lost 3 years. I hate that I almost threw away our marriage because I felt invisible. I hate that it took almost losing you to realize I never actually asked you why you were working so hard. I was terrified. James's knife stilled. When the company started failing, I thought if I just worked harder, sacrificed more, I could save it. Save us. But I was really just running away from the fear that I wasn't enough for you. You were always enough. I just needed you to be present. I know that now. They ate dinner at their small table. No crystal chandelier, just overhead lights that flickered. But James looked at her the whole meal, asked about her day, listened to her answers. After dinner, Olivia's phone buzzed. A text from Rachel. I heard about Adrian's arrest. I'm so sorry for my part in this. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know that I really was trying to help. I just didn't see how blind I was. Olivia showed James a message. Should I respond? Do you want to forgive her? I don't know. She set this whole thing in motion, but she didn't know what Adrian really was. She thought she was helping. That's the thing about betrayal. James said, sometimes people hurt us while believing they're saving us. Doesn't make it right, but it makes it complicated. Olivia put down her phone. I'll think about it, but not tonight. What do you want to do tonight? She looked at him, really looked, saw the man he'd been, the man he'd become, the man he might still be. I want to talk, really talk, about everything. No phones, no distractions, just us. They talked until 2 a.m., about his fears when the company started failing, about her loneliness in their mansion, about the small moments they'd missed while drowning in their own pain. I saw you, James said as dawn started breaking. Every time you cooked dinner and waited, every time you tried to tell me about your day. I saw you live. I just didn't know how to admit that I was failing you. I saw you too, drowning under the weight of expectations. Mine, your own, everyone's. I just didn't know how to tell you that I didn't need a mansion or a fortune. I just needed my husband. Do you still need me? Olivia took a breath. I don't know yet, but I know I want to find out. Not because I'm afraid to be alone. Not because it's easier to stay. But because when I imagine my future, you're still in it. Even after everything. Especially after everything. Because now we know what it costs to lose each other. And I think that makes us fight harder to stay. The next morning, they went to the police station together, gave their statements, watched as Adrian was led past them in handcuffs. He stopped, looked at Olivia. For what it's worth, I really did fall for you. That's the saddest part, Olivia said. You wouldn't know real love if it was standing right in front of you. As they walked out of the station, James took her hand. Your design studio. Your first real client. How did it go? It was incredible. She wanted me to design her entire cafe, start to finish. That's amazing. James smiled and it reached his eyes. So what's next? Next, I finish that project. Then I take on another and another, build something that's mine. And us. Olivia squeezed his hand. We build that too, one honest day at a time. 3 months later, Olivia's design firm had 5 clients. James worked his 9-to-5 job and came home every night at 6 p.m. They cooked together, talked, laughed, went to therapy every week to untangle the damage they'd done to each other. One night, James came home with flowers. Not roses, wildflowers. The kind Olivia had mentioned loving on their second date 7 years ago. You remembered, she said, taking them. I'm trying to remember everything now. All the small things I missed. They stood in their small kitchen, wildflowers between them, and Olivia realized something. The mansion was gone. The fortune was gone. The fairy tale life was gone. But they were still here. Scarred, damaged, real. And somehow that was enough. James, she said, I forgive you. His eyes filled with tears. I don't deserve that. Maybe not. But I'm giving it anyway, not because you've earned it, but because I'm choosing to. The same way I'm choosing to stay. The same way I'm choosing us. James pulled her close, held her like she was precious, like she mattered. I love you, he whispered. Not the you I married, not the you I neglected, but the you that you're becoming. The you that fought through hell and came out stronger. I love you too. The real you. The flawed, scared, human you. Not the empire builder. Not the success story. Just you. They stood there as the wildflowers wilted slowly between them. And for the first time in years, Olivia felt complete. Not because she had everything, but because she had enough. Enough honesty. Enough effort. Enough love. And sometimes, enough was the most precious thing you could have. 6 months later, Rachel reached out again. This time, Olivia answered. They met for coffee, cautious and careful. I don't expect forgiveness, Rachel said. I just wanted you to know that I see what I did, how I played God with your life. I'll spend the rest of mine trying to make up for it. You can't make up for it, Olivia said honestly. But maybe eventually we can build something new. Not the friendship we had, but something different, something earned. It would take time. Years, maybe, but Olivia had learned that some things were worth the wait. Adrian served 3 years for fraud. Elena testified against him, served 2. When Olivia heard the news, she felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just emptiness where he used to be. Some people were lessons, painful, necessary lessons about who you are and what you'll tolerate. And some people were partners, flawed, struggling, human partners who showed up every day and tried. On their 7th anniversary, James took Olivia to the coast. Not a fancy resort, just a small bed and breakfast with a view of the ocean. Remember when we used to do this? He asked as they walked the beach at sunset. Those spontaneous trips? You're not spontaneous anymore. No, but I'm present, and I think that matters more. Olivia stopped walking, turned to face him. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if Adrian had been real? If his feelings had been genuine? Every day, James admitted. And every day, I'm grateful they weren't. Because it forced us to face what we become. To choose each other deliberately, instead of staying out of habit. I chose you, Olivia said. That day in the police station. That night in our kitchen. Every day since. I keep choosing you. I know, and I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret it. They walked back as the sun set, hands intertwined, and Olivia thought about the girl she'd been 3 years ago, waiting alone at a marble table, hoping someone would notice she existed. That girl was gone. In her place was a woman who knew her worth, who built her own life, who stayed in her marriage not because she needed to, but because she wanted to, and that made all the difference. As they reached their small rental car, James pulled out his phone. One more thing. I found this today. He showed her a letter, his handwriting, recent. My dearest Olivia, if you're reading this, we've made it through the hardest year of our marriage. I hope I've shown you every single day that I see you, that I hear you, that I choose you. If I failed at any of this, I promise to keep trying. You are my compass. And this time, I'll never forget. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. When did you write this? Last week. On the anniversary of the day you met Adrian. I wanted to mark it differently. Not as the day we almost lost everything, but as the day we started finding our way back. She kissed him. Soft, real, full of everything they'd survived. Take me home, she said. That tiny apartment with the flickering lights? That's not our home. Olivia touched his chest. This is us, together, broken and healing and real. They drove back to their small life, their honest life, their enough life, and somewhere in the city behind them, a crystal chandelier still sparkled above an empty marble table in a mansion that would never be theirs again. But Olivia didn't look back. She was too busy looking forward, to a future built on truth instead of lies, on presence instead of promises, on the hard, beautiful work of loving someone real. And that was worth more than any mansion. Worth more than any fairy tale. Worth everything. The end.